Hi, and welcome to OffSet's Out of the Box. My name is Nush Lewis. I'm a musician, educator, and founder of OffSet. Out of the Box is an interview series where we interview some of the most interesting music educators, in our opinion, educators who are doing things differently and essentially thinking out of the box. Our guest for our first episode today is Meera Fernandes. Meera is a trumpet player and an elementary music educator from Melbourne, Australia, who is currently based in Mumbai, India. She's the founder of Music Generation and which is a music ed company that has done a significant amount of work between Melbourne, India, and Nepal. So, welcome, Meera. Thank you for taking time out for us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad we got to do this. And I know there's like
I feel like this is just going to be one of our normal conversations over coffee.
Yeah, where we're just like, we love it. Yeah, no, for sure. I think I want to start off by asking you, what has been your education work over the past 1 year?
So for the past 1 year, that's actually a really interesting question because, as you said, I founded the Music Generation, and I actually took a step back from that about a year ago. So I took a step back from running a music education company because I wanted to be on the ground. I was sick of doing all the admin and just taking care of the financials and stuff, and I really just wanted to be teaching again. Because here I was sort of managing all these teachers when really all I wanted to do was be teaching. So the last year I've been working with the Sound Space in Bombay and Solfege Academy as one of their teachers. And it's been so great because I've been able to really hone my own teaching ethos and how I teach and what I teach. And that's really what the last year has been about. It's just about me sort of rediscovering myself as a teacher again, which has been pretty awesome.
Yeah. Because I remember when you came back from Australia, our first meeting, you were just like, I want to do elementary music education. I want to work with children. And that actually brings me to my second question, which is, I mean, you and I both know that elementary music education on its own is a very challenging space to be in because it demands a certain kind of teacher, a certain kind of person. And that is always best translated when you are in a brick and mortar situation because you're physically in the room with the children. You've really managed to translate that beautifully in your online lessons, at least from what I've been seeing. But I'm sure that comes with like a good number of like challenges. So can you walk us through what some of those like hurdles are and like with this particular age group?
Definitely. I mean, look, honestly, the younger kids, which are about ages like 2 to 3 that I've been doing, engaging them online is damn difficult, to the point where they need a parent there. Like they can't be there by themselves, which honestly isn't extremely different from brick and mortar because usually 2 to 3-year-olds is a parent toddler kind of situation. I think the biggest thing I've noticed is you need to keep it as interactive as possible. If you are just teaching to the screen and not engaging the kids by actually having a conversation with them at some point in the lesson, then they're basically just watching a YouTube video, in my opinion. So basically things I do is kind of getting them all to sing solos and unmuting them one at a time. And then they're all very excited for their turn. So they're all kind of waiting to, to sing their part and sing their solo and get heard by everyone else. They all like listening to each other as well, which is really good. I think it's also really good making sure you're constantly saying their names constantly so they know you're not just doing it to a general group. You are engaging with them specifically. And that's really important because the reason we are teachers is not because we can put out these YouTube videos that can just go viral to anyone. We're teachers because we have a relationship with our students, and keeping that relationship strong over the internet is really important still. And yeah, I mean, my best class is one that is one of my youngest classes at Solfege Academy. And I've been with them for about 2 months. And we're basically prepping them to go into instrumental learning in the next year or so. And they're coming along so beautifully. And them on Zoom, it's incredible. Like their attention, and they're singing in tune and singing beautifully, and they're doing everything I ask. And it's actually, they're doing better than they sometimes do in class, but it's really fun. It's amazing. Like, so yeah, just as engaging as possible is the key, I think.
Yeah, it's very interesting because I think as much as you're putting in the effort, I think it's very interesting to see how children also feel because they're doing a class through the screen, that they have to put in that amount of effort. And it doesn't matter how young they are. I mean, just the fact that you're saying that they are patient enough to wait for another student to listen to them, or
Absolutely.
they're looking forward to that. That's growth in itself.
And you congratulate them on it, like just at the end of my last class, I made them kind of all sing. We all kind of said like just some affirmations about, I said, thank you so much for being so wonderful. You're all doing so wonderful in online classes. And then we said, I am wonderful together.
Wow.
Because just celebrate the fact that they have transitioned so well into online learning, and they should be celebrated for that because it is a really difficult thing to do at any age, let alone a 3 or a 4-year-old who just suddenly stuck at home, and I know we're trying to convey this message of safe at home, which is very true, and I believe it, but how do you explain that to a 3-year-old who suddenly can't go see their friends and all this kind of thing? It's a different story.
It's also, I mean, I'm just by looking at watching some of your Instagram lives and some of your videos, it's the energy level that you need to kind of, I mean, like I know when I used to do parent-toddler classes that there's a certain vibe that you bring into a class, and there's a certain energy because not only do you have to engage with the children, but you also have to engage with the adults in the room and get them to do it. And adults always feel a little like, oh, I don't know if I want to do the dance, or I don't know if I want to dance with the scarf. But you have to kind of get them in, and that takes a lot of energy, even if it's just like a 35 to 40-minute lesson. What is that like when you're doing it online? Because
it is crazy because like I'm a homebody, so in a way this is like my dream come true, right? Is I don't have to leave the house to go to work. But it actually has taken me so much more energy than even in class, because in class you're feeding off the energy of everyone, right? Yeah. But when you're doing a live or a Zoom session where all these kids are just staring at you and you can't hear them or anything, I'm like having to build that up within myself. Yeah. And it is exhausting. Like, it's so great that the couch is just there for straight after, but it is exhausting. When you do sort of like 4 or 5 classes back to back, it's actually like and you've been staring at the screen kind of all day. It's like, it is quite exhausting. Yeah. But it's been really rewarding. So just to be able to sort of help out parents and stuff like that during this time, and to see the kids really enjoy it and need it, it's been rewarding. So it's been worth the energy.
I'm actually glad that you mentioned parents, because it literally segues into my next question, which is, what is the role of a parent in a class like this, number one, and post-lesson? Because it's very different when we have a brick and mortar situation where the parent comes in and we do a lesson and we go away and then they come back again. But in a situation like this where they're at home all the time, and you do your lesson, and after that, what is that reinforcement like? So what is the role of the parent? What would your advice be to them?
I want to acknowledge that whatever I say, I want to acknowledge to parents that I know how difficult this situation is, especially for those who are working currently and at home trying to like keep their kids occupied and stuff. It's a really challenging situation, and no one's going to be handling it perfectly. It's a difficult one. I think the key thing, I think we were talking about this, the key thing parents can do is not really push their kids into anything, It's about trying to engage them, I think, in ways outside of the screen as much as possible. Which again is just really difficult because all their classes are on a screen. And whether that means you putting on some music that we did in class, or singing a song with them that they did in class and asking them to sing it by themselves or memorize it kind just as a task. I think don't force kids to do anything that they're not feeling. I think it's really easy to kind of push them to like sit down and do something, or say do this, and they might just be coming and saying, I'm bored. And I don't think that boredom is just like, it's just there struggling with the situation, you know, and just spending time with them and talking to them if you can, I think is the best thing. I've been getting a lot of messages from parents, which has also been really rewarding, saying that the kids are just enjoying my videos that I've been posting online, and that they sing a lot of the songs we do in our sessions outside of the session.
Yes.
And I get parents asking, can you just send me a voice memo of this song so I can sing it with them? So from just the experience I've had, parents are being really proactive at the moment, which is great to see. And yeah, I'm really impressed, like, with what I've seen anyway. So
no, I think that's amazing, because I think that's what, and it's so funny because like you said, we're constantly looking at screens and things like that, but that kind of engagement with the child is actually what we want as educators. Is we want them to constantly go back to concepts that we did in class, whether it is, you know, a song that you're singing while you're cooking with your child in the kitchen, or like stuff like that, like, you know, just small things, and we want them to revisit those concepts. So I mean, I'm really glad that you're getting positive feedback from parents, as well as parents asking you for tips and voice notes and those kind of things. I mean, I think that's remarkable, because right now it's a hard time we're in. So I mean,
absolutely. I just want to say to any parent that's watching this, you're not doing anything right or wrong. Just listen to your kid is what I would say. Like, just understand that they might be struggling with this situation and they don't have the way to regulate those emotions and stuff. So they might need a little more empathy or understanding, rather than, no, we're very fortunate, you have to deal with this.
Yeah, like a 3-year-old can't understand that. Yeah, of course. No, I mean, and hats off to the parents for doing it. So that's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Okay, just to kind of wrap things up, what are your top 3 tips to elementary music teachers who have now moved lessons online? And that's besides being a teacher like you, who's doing parent toddler sort of stuff and singing sort of stuff, but like teachers who are also doing, like, say, piano lessons and those kind of things. So your top 3 tips.
I would say is communicate with parents a lot. I was teaching a piano class the other day, and the student was just really frustrated the whole time. And I messaged his mother afterwards, and I found out that he'd had a lot of screen time that day and just not a very productive day. And I told her, look, honestly, in this situation, I would rather be a bit more flexible with lessons, because I don't want him to start hating the piano due to this online screen situation. So maybe even if we break it up and do like 2 half-an-hour sessions instead of one hour lesson kind of thing. And let's just talk about things a little bit more and tell him to be honest, you know, with me and with you. If he's not feeling it for a piano lesson today, let's not force it, because, you know, routine is good, but again, this is a very abnormal situation. The other thing I would say is move around. I'm seeing a lot of teachers, which is totally cool, you know, like, is just sitting in front of the screen. But I think you'll find if you get the kids up, they tend to be a lot more engaged rather than just watching you kind of sing at the screen. I found that whenever I'm just singing at the screen, they tend to stare. But whenever you're like, everyone get up, then it's like, okay, now
let's move, or let's do a rhythm exercise or something like that. Yeah, of course.
And yeah, I think the biggest thing is, like, don't feel so pressured to stick to the normal lesson format. I think I'm a big believer of that in all situations, but especially now, if you had like a deadline to like get this kid to this certain spot in the next month, maybe be a bit lenient on that at the moment, because I just think that music's greatest purpose is to express, to let out stress, to just enjoy it, right? And especially now, if that's not what music is doing for your child, then I don't know, it just creates more stress in my mind, and that creates a negative association to music. So I think even if it just means, you know, maybe you tell your kid, like, maybe you want to write a song about how you're feeling at the moment, or I have no idea, but make it a little bit more of a place to like let go, rather than, you know, we have to learn these things.
Get creative with the tools that there are. Yeah. Well, that's wonderful. I am so glad that I got to do episode number 1 with you. I couldn't have asked to do this with anyone else. at least for our first episode. So I'm just so glad that I'm doing this. And we got to do this together.
Thank you guys for like doing this at OffSet. Like, it's really amazing. I think music education has so much scope in Bombay, and it's like your kind of organizations that are giving the opportunities to like us teachers and spreading the word and stuff. So
thanks. I mean, for us, the main aim is to bring that community together, especially now when teachers need help and we need more resources and things like that. So that's literally what Out of the Box is about. So thank you so much, Meera. And it was great talking to you. And cheers. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Nush.